City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, third book in the Mortal Instrument series. I'm pretty sure you already watched the previous two book reviews. If you haven't watched them, they are linked down in the description. Watch them and then come back to watch this video. Hi there, I'm Manpreet. I make book related videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and on Saturdays I try to do book reviews. So today I'm going to be reviewing City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. A little segment of the review would be spoiler free, and then I would begin with the spoilery discussion of this review. Book. So in this book, there is a full-fledged war going on, and shadow hunters must decide whether they are going to fight with the downwarders or whether they are going to stand the chance to lose terribly in this war. That is the main premise of this book. Personally, I really liked it as compared to the first book, but I did not like it as much as I liked the second book, okay? I feel like this book was 3.5 out of 5 stars, whereas the second book would be like 4 or 4.5, and first book again 3.5. But obviously you need to continue reading the Mortal Instrument series. I have started to enjoy this world so much. I'm on the book number 5 now, and book number 5, in the future I'll tell you that it's again very boring. But I am really glad that I have picked up the series, and I would urge everybody to try out the series, because if you are into fantasy, you want to read great fantasies, you want to read big fantasy worlds, and this is one of those big fantasy worlds that you must try out. Go ahead and pick up the first book, and if you have read the first and second book, pick up this one. That's it for the spoiler free review. Please do not forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell button so that you get notified of my future videos as well. And also little bit rants and a little bit of updates about my reading on Instagram are always there, so make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. Getting into the spoilery review, where I am going to tell everything that happened in the book so that I have a diary for myself to remind myself, you know what, this is what this book was about, because I often keep forgetting. In fact, I haven't shot the review of the fourth book obviously, so I'm really dreadful about it, that I hopefully have noted down the plot because I do not want to forget it, because there's so much going on in these Mortal Instrument series books, okay? So this is your disclaimer. If you haven't read the book, please stop watching. If you haven't read the first book, second book, please stop watching. Just stop watching, okay? Come back to my video later on. But if you have read the books and you want to see the discussion, let's get started. Let's lay down the plot first. In the beginning, Lightwoods go to Alicante, and Jace Lightwood doesn't want Clary to be in Alicante. He doesn't want her to go with him in that magical city, in the Shadowhunter city. So he devises a plan which backfires, and Simon ends up being in Alicante, and being a vampire, he cannot really be there. So he's being inquired about that as well. But Clary, being the stubborn main character of the story, she has to be in Alicante. She uses her now quite prominent powers to go into the city of Alicante, only to be falling in the lake. And that is how the book begins, with a lot of action and a lot of betrayal and a lot of stubbornness. Then new characters are introduced into the book. For example, Amate is Luke's sister. I really like her character. I would really like her character in the whole book, okay? And obviously Jace and Clary have a fight. They have this kind of okay, you are my bro, but I'm gonna treat you like my boyfriend, and we are gonna fight over that and stuff like that. So they have a fight, and we have another character, Sebastian, in this book, who offers Clary to help her with finding the book that is going to help her mother wake up. So this is the Book of White, which Magnus says you have to find out if you want your mother to wake up and, be an actual part of the story. Like, you have been sleeping since 2 books, so lady, can you please wake up? Meanwhile, Simon is imprisoned because really I do not like the Clave. I really loved the Inquisitor, the old one in the previous book, but because of what I knew about her, which you would not know while you're reading about her, I feel like otherwise the Clave is really I do not like them. I might very well be on Valentine's side if it was just about fighting the Clave, if he was not evil entirely. Then moving forward, Clary finds an angel and sees a lot about what her evil father Valentine has been doing over the years. Alicante city's wards are down, and now the demons can enter the city, which was not otherwise possible. Max dies. That was a heartbreaking moment, and I warned you in the last book, please pay attention to the character of Max, because now when he's dead, you'll be like, oh my god, he was such a cute character. I should not have ignored him entirely, and people should not have ignored him entirely. And if that would have happened, he would not have died in the book. So Jace and Clary sleep together. define it however you want. And Jace goes to fight Valentine, and he finds out about Sebastian being with Valentine, and that happened even before in the story when Hodge was there in this book again. I really felt sympathetic towards Hodge's character. But yeah, so that happens. Jace goes there. Angel rises up. Angel is like, Valentine, you gotta die. Valentine dies. Sebastian dies. Jace dies. But basically, in the end, Valentine gets killed, and Clary asks for Jace back. People die, but they don't really die. Overall, had a happy ending. That was the whole plot of the book. There was a lot going on, and Alec trying to be acting like a grown up. Isabel didn't have a big role in the story, I would say. Yeah, a lot of regret later on, a little bit of action. Yes, she did have a role, but I feel like she was not driving the story in any way. What do you guys think? I can't recall where she was driving the story in this whole book. I don't think she was. Talking about how I felt about this book, I feel like this was totally boring. It was a very slow book, like so close to the first book, slow and boring. I'm like, oh my god, can you please finish this? I was rereading this book as well, and rereading it was fun because I knew what was coming. So I was still excited about it. But if you're reading it for the first time, you'll be like, oh my god, it's gonna be sad, it's gonna be like slow. And with such a slow speed, for a normal person who hasn't finished the book, that person would have a very hard time with it. There's a lot of tension between Clary and Jace, but for the most part, she was just being this annoying, stubborn teenage self. And yeah, a lot of people talk about, why do you have a problem with teenage character acting like they are of their age? But yeah, I would say I don't have a problem with it, but I would have liked if Clary's character was doing something, if she was not that annoying. So, if you were reading the last book carefully, City of Ashes, and if you're reading this book carefully as well, then you will realize that there were a lot of things that were piling up, and there were lots of questions that needed to be answered. And in the end of this book, the third part of this book answers a lot of those questions, which really made it a really good book in the end. Like, first two sections you struggle through it, but the third section really makes up for it. So I'm really glad about that. I'm also really happy that it had a happy ending and it was a good wrap up overall. Like, I feel like with this book, a major chunk of the story was consolidated, and a major chapter of the story ended with this book. And I really liked how it happened. So I would be very inspired to read the third section of the book again, and get some tips on how to write this kind of like ending up, how to write the ending of something, because it was not the end of the series, but still the author ended a lot of things here which were done impeccably. If you guys don't know, I am reading these books again because I'm intrigued with the idea of how this author has built this world and how she has made things happen in this world. So I am always looking at how she's doing it, how she has done the characters, how much coverage she's giving to each of the characters, what role she's giving to each of the characters, what is the plot looking like, and how she's leaving hints here and there. So I am reading every single line very carefully, and it has been a very enjoyable thing for me, and it is like a very nice little project for me. So overall, I really feel like it was worth the time. I feel like I'm really happy that I read this book. Overall, I would give it 3.5 stars. Yeah, it could get a 4 because of that amazing ending, but 3.5 to 4 on Goodreads, it would be 4 obviously. But that's what I think about City of Glass. I don't think it would be a very long review. I'm hoping it would not be, but I just wanted to make sure I'm putting up a review every Saturday. And yeah, I really wanted to have something to watch back on when it comes to these books. I really want to listen to myself again and see what I felt about this book. So this is what I felt. If you felt the same, comment down below, or if you feel differently about this book in the series, then please comment down below and tell me what made you feel different and stuff like that. Let's have some conversations regarding Mortal Instruments series. Let's have some discussions regarding Shadowhunters and City of Glass. So I'll wait for you in the comments down below. This is Mandy signing off. I'll be back with another video very soon.